well and keeping safe. So today I'm in a different location, so I'm working from home today, and I'm going to show you how to make all these macrame feathers. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch up my cameras. So what I'm going to do is make this screen a bit bigger so you can see I'm working on this step by step. And as always guys, you can comment in the comments box, say hello. If you have any questions, you can ask away. So I'm going to be showing you step by step how to do this, and we'll do a couple. We'll do some various sizes as well, and I'll go through all the materials, and if there's anything you need, you can always contact us and ask us for the materials and resources even after the sessions, because these sessions get recorded as well as live streaming, and you can access them on Facebook, YouTube and Twitch. You can access those whenever you like. So materials wise, so I have got two different types of macrame cord. Okay, so I'm going to hold this camera up, there you go, you can see that a little bit better. Macrame cord. So it's a little bit like string. So if you had string at home, this is pretty much like string, or if you've got some sort of cord, you could do this with a really thick thread, but I would probably go for like more of a string type texture if you're looking for something that's similar and you don't want to buy any macrame cord. But as I said, we can always send you some of that. So that's our first thing. Then all I've got is a pair of scissors, a ruler, which I may or may not use, I'm going to see how we go, and I've got a brush or a comb, okay? And that's kind of when we are teasing these bits out. So we'll get there a little bit later. The first thing we want to do, I'm going to use this cord first, this is where I'm going to use the ruler to begin with. And you can do these various different sizes, it's totally up to you. But we're going to do one, I want you to measure out about 40 centimetres. Obviously I've got a 30 centimetre ruler. So once I've got 30, I'm just going to put my finger on it. Just put it there and measure another 10 centimetres. And that's my 40. And I'm just going to cut there, like so. And that is going to be the stem of our feather. Okay. So all we're going to do is have that folded in half, ready for the next part. Okay. So then what we want to do is kind of create the different bits of the feather. Now we want bits that are about 20 centimetres. So we want each sort of strand has two components. So you want them in pairs. So I generally do a few at a time, and then you can kind of cut more as you go. So 20 centimetres. Might even go. Yeah, I'm not going to go 20. That'd be too long. I'm going to go. This is where you can kind of make your own judgment. Because you are going to do it in half. So then, just so you can kind of see, I'll hold it up, it'll go half across there. So you can kind of gauge how you want to do this. Hi Will, how are you doing? So we're doing some macrame feathers. as you know. So all I've done, well, just to kind of recap, is I've measured out sort of my string 40 centimetres, and I've just folded it in half, and then I'm going to measure out kind of the little bits of my feather, so all the different strands. So I'm just gauging kind of how long I want those to be, because we're going to fold each section in half, and each one is going to have 2 to make a component. So I'm thinking we want it more than 10, because otherwise it's going to be really itty bitty. But we could make them smaller as we go along. So I think 15 there. So once you've done one, then you can use that as your measure, and just keep cutting on. So I've got a different camera set up today. Normally I have my 2 cameras going on, which I do, but one of them today is my mobile. So improvisation, because normally I'm at the yard on a Tuesday, and not today. So that's one pairing. So I'm going to do about 4 or 5 of these to begin with, and then I'll show you how we connect it. So this is obviously macrame, really simple, easy macrame, because I have done a little bit. It's a little bit complicated sometimes. I've watched many YouTube videos, paused it, did a little bit, carried on. And don't worry if they're not exact, because we're going to trim stuff down later, so don't worry about that. And what Crafternoon is all about is doing a little bit of crafting, obviously, but also it's a chance for us to chat, have a little natter, check in with everybody, see how everybody's doing. Yeah, so we've got 2, 4, 5. Obviously we want pairs of these. 6. Bit of snipping to begin with. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I'm going to do one more to make 10, so we've got even. And then I'll show you the process of how we kind of do that macrame. Okay, right, put this to one side. We're going to need some more of that as we go along. But just to begin with, let's move those out of our way. Right, so we'll do it so it's facing you guys. So the reason we fold it in half, you could do it just as a straight line, but the reason we fold it in half is so that you get like a loop so you can hang it up. So you want to leave, you can decide obviously how much of a loop you want, but obviously I've left probably a good inch and a bit, that well-known measurement. So when we do this, obviously I'll repeat this a few times, so don't worry. I'll just make sure that we're covered up. So you want to fold each bit in half. You want to lay this, get everybody out there so we can lay things nice and flat. Okay. So you're laying one bit like that, but one's going underneath the stem part. So because that one's going underneath, the other one's going to go over. So basically it's going to be the opposite shape. So obviously we've got that curved bit and we've got the ends here, and vice versa. Okay, so what we're going to do, so this loop bit is going to go through the ends, like so, okay. And it's then the ends are going to go through this loop here. And we're going to pull these through here, and you're just going to pull the two ends, like so. Okay, and then you can shuffle those down. So don't worry if it goes too near the top or anything, but give it a good pull. Okay. And that is your first part of your feather, like so. Okay. So don't worry too much if it's not quite even, like that one there for me. Probably could have done with lining it up a bit better, but that's alright, it's part of it. Okay, so we're going to continue doing that. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom. So I'll show you again. So we're going to loop it. And that is going underneath your main sort of, I'm calling that the stem. You've got that loop shape here. So we're making this shape. And this one's going to sit on top. But you see these two ends? That's going to go through your loop part, like so. And then you're going to put the two ends here through the other end of the loop. Give it a pull. Hold it up so you can see. Give it a pull. And you can shuffle this up. Okay. You've got two parts there. So if you're not sure about anything or you need me to explain anything as I go along, anything that's not clear, do send me a message. You're like, what, Sphere? I don't understand what you're doing. But hopefully, as we go along, so you can see that from above. And hopefully you can see that. We've got those two parts there. So when we do this bit, so this bit, we've looped it. So that bit is going to go underneath, like so. Then we're going to do another bit. So you basically put it in half. Then these ends going through this loop, and those ends are going through that loop. It's quite hard for me to do it one-handed, so I'm going to put it back here, and then I'll show you again before I tighten it. Just so you guys can see. So I've put those ends through this side of the loop, those ends through that side of the loop, and all you're going to do is pull those two. It's going to tighten it. Give it a pull, shuffle it up. So we've now got three. So you see, we're going to need more than, I've only got two left here, so we're going to need some more. So what I tend to do, once I get to like the last one, I then start to cut some more, because then I've still got my measurement. And keep going. So hopefully you've got that technique. And every month we're doing a online Crafternoon. So see, this month has all been about macrame feathers. Excuse me, while I'm working at home, so people do pop in. And as you can see, somebody's in here. There we go. So what I do with this one, I'm going to measure some more out. I'm just going to use this, measure some more out. So I'm going to do quite a few because I think I'm going to need some more. Do like a good craft. I like things that have got a lot of repetition in them. I've talked about this quite a lot with people recently. Something in the repetition that just helps kind of relax you. I think because you know what to expect, and also it becomes sort of like a rhythm. So if anybody does sort of a traditional meditation, or if you do exercise, or you do baking, or anything sort of other thing, anything else that you kind of got that rhythm to it. Dancing is another one. Playing instruments, all those things have kind of got a repetition, a rhythm to it, and they become quite mindful. And there's definitely something in those sort of repetitive actions of making that I find help definitely kind of keep you relaxed, or it's really good for distraction. Mm, Probably more. Carry on building it further. I don't know if anybody's seen sort of online those like wall hangings that you can make with the macrame feathers. So you can, once you've kind of got this basic technique, you can then build up your own sort of creation and make them into wall hangings, or you can just have it in an individual piece. So you can do it however you like, really. Let me get my comb ready as well. So I've just got like a little mini brush for when we get to that point, but you can use a comb, whatever you've got at home. Carry on. Remember this loop that we created going underneath. The other loop is going the opposite way. There's this part of the loop going through these ends, and then the other end going through. Well, I'm no expert in macrame, but this, from what I understand, is one of the basic macrame sort of knots techniques. Obviously, if you wanted to start off even smaller, you can go smaller as well. Just keep going. So I hope everybody's had a good week. What have people been up to? We had a few days away. Taught a friend of mine to arm it, which is always good for it. Actually, the first time I taught somebody that I know how to do it. Normally, I teach people in workshops. I don't know how. So that was different. doctors. So Will's currently in hospital, but he has a break from his treatment from Wednesday for 2 weeks, so that's good. I hope you're doing alright with that, Will. I imagine that's quite a tough one. But I do know, like me, you like a bit of crafting. Have you now become the crochet king since we were crocheting last week? Yeah, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. So luckily, I had an odd one, so I don't have to measure something like that. Oh, you're getting from the granny square again, but you're going to try and learn the elastic stitch. I left my hooks at home there. Ah, okay. What is the elastic stitch? Okay, that sounds exciting. Will is also going to teach me how to do a magic circle in crochet, which is like the holy grail of crochet stitches, which I've not managed to master and retain in my brain yet. So, Will, you might have a challenge on your hands there. It's always the one that's always in the crochet kit, so. I'm going to have to look at what the elastic stitch is. It sounds like it's magic. Is it more magic than the magic circle? So this is what Crafternoon is all about, guys. It's a chance for people to talk about what you're doing. It's a chance to chat about how things are going. Also to join in a little bit of making. Or, if you're not up for the making, just to sit and watch what I'm doing and have a little natter. Sometimes we don't always get a chance to do that. I've got a few more of these. I'm going to carry on like I was doing before. So you're making that loop shape. So basically you're just kind of folding this in half and it automatically makes that loop shape. So this one's going underneath. So you always just want to make sure that's nice and flat. This is going down straight in. Otherwise it'll just get all twisted up. Wouldn't look the worst. Just looks a bit better. I think Macrame is kind of that. Things looking neat. And then opposite way, so it was going that way. Between the two ends. Pushing through. Pull. Okay, good pull. Watch it up. And the tighter these are, the more kind of good effect it gets on. Sometimes I do like crafts that are a little bit simple. So this one's not a complicated craft, but you could do it with regular string because there's not much difference between the Macrame cord and regular string with this one. But as always, if you do want any of the resources when we are doing Crafternoon, just send us an email. I'm more than happy to send you a little craft kit with supplies. And you don't have to do it live with us, you can do it anytime. I think we can need a few more. But what you do want to do, you don't want to go right to the end. Maybe you want to kind of go to how much that length is. Maybe we might leave it there. Because basically, what we're going to do now, we're going to unravel the string so it starts to look a bit like this, and then we're going to brush it out. But actually, maybe we're going to stop there. But don't worry, we can use these for another one. We shall not waste. So all you want to do now is you're going to start to untwist this, and you'll see it you'll see where it untwists quite easily. So, I'm quite pleased about unravelling something. You can see it just unravels quite easily. Untwist this one. So if you just twist it in sort of the opposite direction, you'll see one bit that comes undone. You can just, in 3 strands this one. Really different one. Kind of reminds me if you ever plaited your hair and you undo it, it's kind of how that looks. And we're just going to do that for every single strand. This way I feel like a speed up motion would be really cool. With the in my head like the Benny Hill music there. Again, it's just something that's about taking your time or something. You can do it which any way you like. You can go all down one side and the other. You can do alternative. However you want. That's it. And again, don't worry if it's not all the same length. We're going to trim it. And if you need to, like mine just came a little bit loose, you can just push them up. And you want it quite tight then. Has anybody else had a go at any macrame before? I'm always really impressed when people do like those really huge scale macrame pieces. I think it would take me a really long time. So really look at you. Okay, once you've got hold of the technique, which is a nice simple one, and the good thing once obviously we've finished the session, you can rewind, you can watch it, and obviously if you've got any questions, please ask away. So it doesn't matter if it's after the video, I'll still see the comments and things. You can ask away. On Facebook and YouTube they stay there forever. And on Twitch the videos stay for 30 days. At the moment as well, we have got our Christmas Crafternoon boxes, which we are delivering for free for people across Northampton. We've also got them available on our website. If anybody wants to buy one, and then 50% of the profits from those boxes then go back into the community as well as our other Crafternoon craft boxes as well we've got, which again are free to communities across Northampton, and the same are available on our website. And next Saturday as well, for anybody who's interested in creating things in Northampton, myself and the community courtyard are doing a collaborative piece of work with some illustration students from the University of Northampton, which is called What is Human? There's a chance to come and do some illustrative work. They're running a workshop where you can come and draw yourself, or they will help draw you. And it's all around identity, how we see ourselves, and it's going to be a big piece of artwork which then is displayed at the end. And that's on Gold Street in Northampton. So if you fancy coming along, that's on Saturday 10th, 12 till 4. The reason we unravel a bit, because if you try to just brush this straight away, you're not going to get very far. It would just be very matted. Whereas this way, you're unraveling it and then you can brush it out. And also, when you brush it out, you can then trim it a bit easier. Sort of like when you go to the hairdressers, they brush your hair before cutting it. Well, you really would if they didn't. But we are slowly. Now, I'm not too worried about the shape at the moment because we are going to trim that off ourselves. The reason I've just separated it, just so I know what bits I need to carry on doing. And if you ever have a go at any of the mates, it's always awesome if you share what you do. You can just tag us at Curator-Educator. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You can find us on all the social media. Slowly putting together. And once we've unravelled all these bits, we're going to brush it out, trim it off, and then we have our macrame feather. And shoot this one. And that's all of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to strip all them together because they've just come apart. Get them all in the right direction before I brush them. There we go. And all I'm going to do is get my brush. There we go. Come in. And make sure it's together. So just holding it, doing another brush, and you'll see the shape of it more. So I'm just going to hold this one here, so you can see that shape. So all I'm just going to trim around, and we've got more of a feather shape going around. So this is, we're going to take our time doing this. Just slowly doing this. I always like to do this bit gradually because obviously it's easiest to take away than adding it on. And actually brush it back again. And that's kind of more of it. Brush it down. It was written it. You can just kind of keep trimming until you're kind of happy with your shape. Sometimes it takes me quite a while. Because then you see other bits, you're like, oh, how did I miss that bit? I like it to be a bit more tapering at the top. Again, it's your preference. Sweet size bit. You can keep going for quite a while, just shaping it until you've got it in the way that you like. You can make it more pointy at the end. I'm going to stop in there because sometimes you don't keep that. And then you just see how you like. So you can put that in. Hopefully you can see a feather-like shape. Like so. And as you go along, you can see from even my first one, the difference between the two. And even if I came back to this one now, I could shape this more, just the way sometimes they sit. You told me I was going to be brushing macrame online. Sometimes you've got to brush it out a little long. Okay. These bits out there, just so you can see a little bit of a difference. One's a bit more shape than the other. I'll hold the camera up. So that one is less shaped than that one. You get an idea of how to do macrame feathers. I'm going to switch back to make it better. So lovely people, hopefully you got an idea how to make those macrame feathers. If you have any questions, please do fire away. And if you need any resources, please do let me know. I hope you enjoyed today's Crafternoon online. Next month we're going to be doing something a little bit Christmassy. So I think we're going to be doing some little Christmas tree things. So we're going to be posting very shortly what our next Crafternoon online session is, how you can get involved, and if you need any craft resources, as always, you can get in touch with us and we'll send you some resources your way. So take care everybody, and I hope to see you soon for some more crafting. Take care.